I want you to understand in every ounce of your being that you absolutely are supported, even and especially when you're having the dark night of the soul, right? When you're having those moments, it's for you to be able to notice that and tap in. How do I want my life to be differently? Where is this taking me? Where and start to look for the evidence that you're supported and watch the magic unfold.
Welcome to yourbrilliance.com. I'm your host, Amy Waterman. Do you feel like nothing comes easy? Everything worth having requires sacrifice. Because if it was easy to be rich, right, everybody would be swimming in money. So you put in the hours and you put in the years and you work your way up and you keep the faith. And then it happens. You get the wake up call. You look around you and it's like you're seeing your life for the first time. You have put in all of this hard work. And where has it got you? This is not what life was supposed to look like. And you're not even really all that happy. When our guest for today, Lisbeth Overton, got that wake up call, she didn't ignore it. She asked herself the question, why do I feel like this? There has to be more. And she went on a spiritual journey to find the answers. Today, Elizabeth is going to share with us what she discovered about living a life of meaning, connection, confidence, and abundance. You will learn what it means to be a spiritually wealthy woman, why life is supposed to be less stress and more fun, and how you can feel supported by the universe. Welcome, Lisbeth.
Thank you, Amy. I'm so happy to be here.
Woohoo! Woohoo! So, you were a nurse for 22 years. And then last December, you made a career pivot. Tell us about that.
So, since I was four, I had this vision, I had this dream, Amy, that I wanted to be a speaker, inspirational speaker, a coach for women. And last December, after many, many years of grooming this path, I talked to my husband for a long, long time. And we agreed that it was time for me to take the leap, Gay Hendricks style, go for it, and to really, really lean in 175% into this vision, into this dream of being a nurse in a different way than I had been trained. And so here I am, smack dab in the middle of this entrepreneurial journey, post COVID, intra COVID, whatever you want to call it. And of course, it couldn't be more divinely orchestrated if I had planned it myself.
So I want to know about this. I love this. You're still a nurse, but you're in a different way than you were trained.
Mhm. So, of course, as nurses, we are trained to expect the worst, like plan for the worst, expect the best. And we have, A through, Z mapped out, right? And so, energetically speaking, I believe that when you have all these, plan B, C, D, E, F, G, energetically, it kind of ties you to, oh, well, maybe there's going to be a different way. And I feel like when you decide, when you cut the cord, when you take the big leap and you get rid of the security of your income or your paycheck or whatever it is that you identify with, it forces you to go full in, like full in. There's no like plan B, C, D, E, F, or G.
So that takes faith.
Hmm. Immense amounts of faith. And without faith, mm, people stay in resistance. People stay where I was for 48 years, which is fear, doubt, lacking confidence, having lots of anxiety. Who am I? This will never work. All the demons come out, right? And I really believe that we don't know what we're fully capable of until we actually give ourselves the opportunity to do it, until you actually step away from the mundane and the rituals of what you do and what you're expected to do. You will never know what you're fully capable of.
So, what made you decide then? I mean, you had a good career, things were going great, and your life wasn't bad before. Why did you change just like I said last December?
So again, this is something that came up when I was 4 years old. I had this inner knowing that I would be some type of influential, motivational speaker type person. And when your soul implants something into your soul and your heart, if you continue to resist it, if you continue to ignore it, it will wreak havoc in your life in so many ways. And so I just got to this place of I have had an incredible career working as a registered nurse, and now Spirit is guiding me to help support people. Basically, I feel like I'm a caretaker of the human spirit. So my nursing role has really expanded. Instead of just working with one individual at a time, like I am helping foster a closer spiritual connection for like the cosmos, a greater portion of the population, just by doing what I'm doing, saying what I'm saying, and really just being an example of there's no one path, Amy. Like, that's the other thing, right? Is that societal conditioning tells us, oh, well, if you're going to be a teacher, then you have to do it this way. Or if you're going to be a nurse, you have to do it this way. Well, who says who and how is that belief serving you? Hello?
I completely agree. And it's really difficult because when our kids are in school, they are raised, what is your interest, right? Do you have the skills? Okay, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And one of the things I think the best advice I ever got in high school was that somebody said, you will probably be working in a job that has not been invented yet. And here I am. I won't tell
Or
you how many decades past school I am working in a job. The internet was not, oh gosh, I'm really old, but the internet was not invented when I was in school. And here we are. We need that flexibility and we need that ability to adapt. And I think this is something where being able to listen to our inner guidance really helps. But I know from your story that you didn't always have that connection to your inner guidance. How did you finally tap into that part of yourself who said, no, that vision you had back at 4, you got to follow it now?
yeah, so I'm just going to bring up the religion word. So I grew up going to church. I actually went to a private Christian high school. It was sort of basically crammed down my throat. And it's like I learned about something bigger, God. I believed in something bigger. I learned how to pray. I learned how to talk to God, but I didn't understand how um, to listen to God. I didn't learn how to have this two-way communication. And I also, even though I believe in something bigger, Amy, I did not feel supported in the way that I feel now. So I was actually working on overcoming this limiting belief that I had that I didn't have a creative bone in my body. I was at my favorite lake because how could I be successful if I weren't creative? Because I mean, that's how you're successful. You're creative, right? And so I'm at this lake that I've been going to every day since I've lived in Minnesota for 22 years. And I get this message that says, Lisbeth, you need to create an oracle deck called Divine Downloads Channeled Wisdom from Your Soul. And again, like I believe in something bigger. I have never received a message quite like this. I was literally looking around because I was by myself, like, who said that? and and then I clearly realized, OMG, this is coming from me. This is like my higher self, and to me, higher self is like God, source, universe. It's the 10,000-foot view of you that has no fear, no ego, is all knowing, all loving, all compassionate, and sees the full staircase. So because I'm human, the first thing that I thought of was, well, how am I going to do that? Remember, I'm not creative. So anyway, long story short, they're like, go back to the lake. When I say they, I'm referring to my higher self, my spiritual team. And within 2 months, I had a lot of demons come up. Who are you? No one's gonna, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I just kept having faith and saying, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. And they said, write some words, What do they mean to you? Write some affirmations, ask some questions, share some wisdom. And after that, after I received this deck in my hands, this was significant in and of itself because my whole life I actually am creative and I would get these ideas and I would get all like hot and bothered and excited. And then I would drop it like a limp biscuit. Like, okay, moving on next. So I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. So the fact that I actually executed on this message and did the full thing from A to Z for the first time ever, Amy, it was like a kid in a candy store. I was so proud of myself. But when I held this little baby deck in my hands, this is it, the divine downloads. I did this little ritual. I have some crystal singing bowls and some sage and like gave it a little blessing. And all of a sudden my whole team came around me. It was like this tidal wave of love and compassion. And they were basically like, girl, you have done well and we are going to reward you. And I was like, are you serious? So like I was totally pleased and fulfilled. And then, I started sharing it with people. People wanted to pay me for these things. And it's like one thing led to another. And a couple weeks later, they told me I needed to have a podcast of the same name. So I did a podcast for 78 episodes. And then recently they said, oh, you need to pivot and you need to become the spiritually savvy nurse. So that's a little bit of the trajectory of what's happened. And before I had this connection at the lake, I didn't trust Amy. I didn't believe that abundance was possible in the way that I saw it. And I doubted everything. And if there was something to worry about, I was worrying about that and 20 other things. Everything was a struggle.
And that is really interesting because you now teach that ability to tap into your guidance and that ability to feel supported by the universe in your retreats. It's called The Spiritually Wealthy Woman. And most of us do not connect spirituality and money. So tell us, how do you now see that connection between spirituality and wealth?
So, health and abundance or wealth are not anything we ever acquire. It is an energy, it's a frequency that we attune to. So before this whole time, I didn't feel fulfilled, even though you could check all the markers of success. Great job, paycheck, health, family, all the things. And so to me, wealth is spiritually wealthy means when you have this innate sense, this innate connection with your higher self, which to me is all that is. I mean, that is so abundant. Like that's an infinite amount of resources. So when you can tap into this well within yourself, that's always with you. First of all, you are completely abundant in that moment because it's infinite resources. And when you are tapped into her, you become a bat channel for everything that you would ever possibly want to manifest in the physical realm. It doesn't matter if it's health, a partner, a baby, the job, the resources. And so that's where we're so unfulfilled is that we're blocking so much of the abundance because it's either the mindset, it's the body, the physical piece, or it's the spiritual stuff where again, we're married to this idea that, well, to be spiritual, I have to do this one thing or else I will be punished. Someone told me that if I have to work hard for it and if I don't struggle, then I'm not really deserving of it. Like, what?
I've heard that too. I have heard that too.
Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell.
So, of course, there's the follow up question to that is, how do you spot these limitations and blocks and then somehow get rid of them so that you can then let that abundance flow?
The biggest thing is, first of all, you have to decide that you want things to be different than they are. Number one. Number two, you have to have awareness is always the first step to any type of behavior change. It's like if you don't understand or recognize that there's a problem, then there's no way you can leverage it, maximize it, change it. And so having the awareness when you catch yourself, oh my God, I never win anything. I'm so unlucky. I'll never get out of the debt. Like, catch yourself when you hear the train going in your mind. That's what it's designed to do. And then in the moment, you can say, oh, look at that. My mind is doing what it was designed to do. It's thinking these thoughts that are negative. And so I'm not going to judge it. I'm just going to notice it. I'm just going to let it go. And then with practice, right? Once you catch yourself, then you can start to reframe and you can say, up until now, I've always believed that I'm so unlucky. And now I'm deciding to choose to believe that I am so lucky and I'm so resourceful. And that when I'm open, all the things that I need will come to me in the right timing and in the right amount, and maybe even an overflow. So it's a process. This doesn't happen in 10 minutes. It's a journey, right? And it's about grace and compassion. When you catch yourself, you don't need to analyze it or judge it. Your mind's doing what it was designed to do. And then with time, you can reframe. And then also with your physical body, you have to slow down for a hot minute to be able to have this awareness of your energy, your surroundings. What is communication from source trying to tell you? You will never hear it if you're la 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 la, like, social media, just like,
Absolutely. No, you also help people because this is a hard process to go through on your own. And you help women go through this through your retreats. And am I right? Your retreats are now online so that anybody watching this could join.
absolutely. We're doing this COVID style, friends, all virtual.
Now, for those of you watching, if you want to find out more about Lisbeth's oracle cards, to listen to her Spiritually Savvy Nurse podcast, or go and see when the next retreat is going to be held, we have a link for you. Just go to yourbrilliance.org/Lisbeth. That's yourbrilliance.org/LISBETH. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for coming onto the show. And I wonder if you had any last message you would like to leave our viewers with.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Amy. I love your vibe and your energy. It's so beautiful. Yay! And I would say this. I want you to understand in every ounce of your being that you absolutely are supported, even and especially when you're having the dark night of the soul, right? When you're having those moments, it's for you to be able to notice that and tap in. How do I want my life to be differently? Where is this taking me? Where, and start to look for the evidence that you're supported, and watch the magic unfold.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you out there for watching. Now, did you have any aha moments while watching this interview? If so, share them with us in the comments. And for more interviews like these, make sure to subscribe to Your Brilliance TV here on YouTube. And then come on over to yourbrilliance.com for more tips and insights on how you can live your most brilliant life. See you next time.